So that's
When I said fulfill, I find a way to fulfill.
to
First
make
of
it
all,
happen.
yeah, I
Yeah.
made it happen by trusting God.
Mm.
I seek God. When I have a dream and when I pursue something that must be done, I nagging God,
Mm.
until I get it. I mean, I seek the Lord first, and then I was thinking on that, with what I have, how could I get there?
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Project 52. In this very episode, I have a special guest, Saya Hon Pi, a mentor of mine and a pastor of mine who I have admired for so many years. So I am so excited to have him in this particular episode today. So, Xiao, who are you? Would you introduce yourself to us?
My name is Joseph, and I am assistant pastor in a Myanmar Worship Center. And I have a wife, and I have three beautiful daughters.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah, so that's pretty good. So yeah, as I said earlier, Xiao is a leader who I admire, and I know him from how many years now? Like
Six,
6 or 7 years. Yeah,
six
six
or
or seven
seven.
years. So it's been a while. So I mean, we work in the ministry together. We are more like partner in Christ. So which is like fantastic. So what is your childhood dreams? I mean,
My
I kind of know. I think a little bit, but
okay,
you want me to guess?
yeah,
Okay.
you go first.
Pilot
Pilot,
one
yeah.
and another
I
and let me guess. Was it musician?
mm, not really.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Well, what's your childhood
I,
dream?
I wanted to be a pilot, and then in the a soldier.
Mm.
So combine the two, become a fighter pilot.
So and more like
Yeah,
Air Force.
Air Force. Yeah, I
Mm.
want to do a fighter pilot when I was a kid. But since we watch all kind of movie like Wukong and this Shaolin thing, I wanna be a good martial art, something like that. But most of all, to become a pilot, a fighter pilot.
Okay. So your dream was to become a pilot, but
Mm-hmm.
obviously now you are a pastor and a preacher.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you feel about that? Not be able to like fulfill your childhood dream.
Um, I still love to become a fighter pilot,
Mm-hmm.
even though my chance are past, because when I came to United States, I was like 24,
Mm.
my age. So I learned that if you want to join the Air Force, you have to be this and this, and your health must be and this and this. Those qualifications I already passed. Some of them I already passed, so I didn't have a chance to try. But actually, I wanted to try, to do the test. But right now, I feel I am in the spiritual warfare, and I'm still in the fighter pilot for the kingdom of God.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way to think of it. So like I wanted to know like where is your turning point? Like where's your turning point? Like
From
from like to step into a ministry.
my turning point came, it's also the calling that I have.
Mm.
It was my 10th grade in Bagan,
Myanmar.
Myanmar. So 10th grade was the last that's high school. I'm about to finish high school, and I went up to that mountain that we have in our local. We call it, was that Carmel, Mount Carmel.
Mm. So it's like a
So
prayer
a
mountain.
prayer mountain.
Okay.
So I went up there twice in that year. And I have, in the midnight, I heard this song in my ear. In the midnight is very quiet, and you
Mm.
can even hear the car that were driven, and in the foot of the mount. So it was so quiet, and I hear this like somebody playing a tape, things like that. I hear that this Muji song.
Yeah, you said.
In Burmese, it goes like the Kim Paya Dwe Below Pa Wimale.
Mm.
The song title is Sin Zion.
Mm.
So think,
Think.
thinking, yeah, think, yeah. So this song uh, draw me to the foot of God, to the foot of the cross, and that's how I decided to become a follower of Jesus Christ. Not just a follower, but to be a servant of the kingdom of God.
Mm. Okay, so I see. So then you step into like
Right after finish my high school, when I passed, right after the final exam,
that's like
I
the
joined.
senior high.
Right,
Yeah.
right, senior high.
Okay. So like I wanted to know like and once you get into a ministry, is there like anybody who like inspire you along the way, or is there any other like resource that you get that help you to be in a ministry? Let's first
Uh,
focus on someone who like inspire you.
Someone who inspired me. I didn't know a lot of like evangelists, like preacher, but the pastor I know was Sia Mong,
Mm.
and then Sia Kam Hao, the Paradise,
Yeah.
yeah, church in Mandalay, because he frequently come to our town and do the crusade and things like that. I was very inspired to be in his crusade and do the prison worship, and after the prison worship and some announcement and testimony, he came up to the stage and he preaches, and a lot of young people like my age came to the altar and commit their life. And this was the picture that I see, and this image really captured my heart.
Mm. So Sia Kamahao and Sia Motong were like, so you
Yeah,
could say they were like your uh that's where you draw your inspiration. They're more like your role model.
yeah, we can say that.
Okay.
Yeah, even though we are, I didn't have a lot of close relationship with them
Okay.
at that time.
So at this moment, so how many years were you in the ministry?
Right now,
Yeah, so since
in the
you start.
ministry is over a decade now.
Oh, what? Okay, nice.
I started like 20. When was that? When I was in Malaysia. Actually, before Malaysia, I was in the youth
You were
member.
already
Yeah,
involved in the youth
yeah, in the
ministry.
youth and
Okay.
ministry, and while I was in the Bible college, yeah, I was helping in the youth and in the children ministry, kid ministry.
Mm.
And then when I came to Malaysia, I lead this group of young people. We call it a youth center, and I
Youth
was
center.
able to serve there. And since then, it's a little over a decade now.
Okay, so like I heard that youth center was it become a very success. Can I say that? It was very success, right? Like it
I
started
would
with
say
it started with a few people.
success. When you say success, sometimes people measure with a different
Different measure,
measurement.
yeah,
Yeah. So,
measurement, of course.
but I would say it was a success
But
because
what I'm saying is like it's more than your expectation, right?
yes,
Mm.
yes, yes, because uh, I was at first nervous and at the same time excited, but we didn't have a lot of people because we do a worship service on
Mm.
Tuesday afternoon, like afternoon and evening, like 2 p.m. something like that.
2 p.m.
Yeah, 2 p.m. and to until like 4 to 5.
Mm.
We have a long fellowship hour. Yeah, and then we don't have a lot of member in the service because we only focus people who couldn't join the church on Sunday.
Mm.
So who work on Sunday, they came to our worship, and most of them are male. Sometimes we don't have female, like when we sing, like it's only a bass thing. We don't have any trouble. So yeah, that's kind of cool.
Like,
At first, we have just a little small
like
group.
how many people? Five or six? Or
Sometimes it's around 10.
10? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
sometimes it's more than that. But we grew from there. Not a lot in numbers, but we have a lot of ministry, like care ministry. We went to the disabled house
Mm.
and we give food and we pray for them, things like that. And then we do a youth camp in Malaysia. If I'm not wrong, we would be the first group to do that kind of thing in the Malaysia New Year.
Mm.
Yeah, not a lot of church, as I not a lot of
So you guys were
church.
the
Yeah, we
pioneer.
yeah we were the first to do. But after that,
Uh,
all the church have focused on that holiday and
oh,
do a lot of ministry. But at those time, we were the only group that do so. We have a lot of young people coming to our camp, and we have baptized people. People are changing.
mm.
Receive salvation.
Okay, so
Hmm.
yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like that was a success there,
Right.
bringing people
Hmm.
to Christ. And then you came to the United States and when?
Came to United States on 2011 November
Mm.
1, and I arrived United States like 2 or 3. I don't quite remember. Yeah, but I leave Malaysia on November 1st.
So you came to United States, and then like will you step right into the ministry, or you kind of like in the middle for
The
quite some
place
time?
I didn't step into the ministry right away because of
So
the
you arrive in where when you first arrived
in Georgia.
in Georgia?
It's 3 hours drive from Atlanta. So I
And
stayed there like 4 months, I think, and then I moved to Tulsa.
okay, so you were still like you were single at that time, right? So,
Yes.
okay, so you
Yes.
came to United
Hmm.
States by yourself, or is it with?
I'm alone.
Oh, you okay?
By myself.
Okay, okay. Then you moved to Tulsa,
Yeah.
Oklahoma.
Hmm.
Okay, so you were involved in the ministry for.
Yeah. Uh, Full Gospel Assembly International.
Okay, so since you've been in the ministry for over a decade, what are some of the struggle like you've been facing, like personally?
Personally, since this is my calling, I love doing
Mm.
doing the ministry, and then worshiping, and being together with a group, serving uh, with a purpose. This is always for me fun, and I enjoy it,
Mm.
even though sometimes you didn't have a lot of sleep, and then you have to use your energy and your time. It's very time consuming, but I love that.
Mm.
The only struggle that I would have would be I couldn't do what I enjoy, what I love,
Mm.
as much as I want to do it at that time, because I gotta go to work, and
Well, what do you mean by you couldn't do it? What you like
it's
to do?
about the time, and when you work at that time. I don't know, when you go to work, and work, the company has you,
Mm. For
and
8 hours a day, or
8 hour a day, not only 8 hour, they always be in our mind, and
mm.
you have this burden that I have to go to work tomorrow, things like that. And then when you have few money, you gotta buy things, and then this life cycle,
Mm.
I was beginning to spin in that life cycle, and then it's hard to get out of that cycle.
Okay, so let me like go back a little bit. Like, what is it like? Um, you really want to do? Let's say if you at that time, let's say during that time, like if you don't have, um, like 9 to 5 job, what would you do in that time?
I would be in the church,
Mm.
and at first, when I first arrived in Tulsa, I didn't get involved in the youth ministry yet,
Mm.
but I was very close with them, and then participate in every program they have. But we sometimes go to the another state, and go do prison worship, and sometimes preach, things like that.
Mm.
So I love, we call it gospel trip, but it's not really a gospel trip, but
More like fellowship.
yeah, more than fellowship. But I love doing that. And we have a dream to do with our group, with a music band, and do the prison worship. And we have a strong feeling about it, doing it, about committed to it. But job
Mm.
came in, and schedule driven us, and we couldn't do it as much as we want to do. So if I didn't have to go to work, like another job, things like
Mm.
that, I would be more participate, and then uh, establish the ministry right there. And right after that, I was invited to lead in the youth in Full Gospel Assembly International right here in Tulsa, and I was able to serve young people by the grace of God. We had this conference, in summer conference, and that was also great too. A lot of people came to hear the word of God, and we have this teaching, the Bible, and all around the Tulsa city, people came to our conference, and
Yeah.
received the message. Yeah.
Okay, that was it. So since you love it so much, but now let's say like, is there like a time like when you wanna to give up in ministry? Like you kind of have that feeling, just for maybe not a give up, maybe more like a burnout when you wanna take it and when you wanna pause for some time. It,
During that time.
yeah, is there any like time during um your time in the ministry ever since?
No, not really.
Mm.
Not really. I didn't even think about it.
Okay.
I sometime, when I look back my past, I worry, because I was thinking, what should I do next?
Mm.
How should I do more to get uh, many more young people, to reach out.
Mm.
So sometimes I worry that I might be focusing on doing thing, and not focusing to have a personal relationship with God. But
Okay.
at that time, we are young, and we are very passionate about it, and we were uh, sometimes not even get to sleep at night, talking about it, and what to do in the youth camp, and what should we do, how should we do things like that, how should we fundraising, things like that, discussing, being in the flow. We are just enjoying that,
Mm.
so never thinking about.
I mean, that's the passion, and that's the calling there, right?
Hmm.
And who usually give up in ministry? Like, what kind of people usually give up in ministry?
Give up?
Yeah, give up.
You mean give up?
Yeah, give up,
Surrender?
surrender, left the
Left.
church. Like, let's say they once were on fire, but
Mhm.
eventually they kind of like the fire started to fade.
I, you know,
Like, what kind of people? Like those people who are seeking money over the kingdom, because the
yeah.
being in the ministry is and you need to have a, like a calling and
Mm-hmm. Yeah. People who are not sure about their vision,
mm,
not they kind of have a vision, and they
mm,
came with that vision to serve in the kingdom, but they didn't have that solid, foundation on that vision.
mm. So, what is your weakness like when it comes to leadership?
My
Okay, okay.
okay,
I think it will make more sense.
weak weakness in leadership.
It could be in your personal life. It doesn't have to be in a leadership.
There's nothing that I know of.
So
I'm
perfect.
just kidding. My weakness. Okay. There's a lot of thing that I want to say.
Mhm.
I know myself better than anybody.
That's true.
So
Like it could be like self-discipline, time management, like not getting your goal done, not being committed. you know.
you just said all of them. All of them
I'm
together.
just giving you my example.
You said everything right. And every area there is a weakness, and
Mhm.
in all area there is, even though in the area that I am doing good,
Mm.
still there is a weakness.
Weakness
So,
in there.
but the worst of the worst is this: I am very not good in making friend.
Oh.
Yeah, making
Okay.
a new friend, especially. So it's not that I don't like people, but I don't approach people and talk to them first, things like that.
Mm.
I know I should change about it, but this is the weakness I have.
So
It's not an excuse,
yeah, yeah.
but
So what do you
I noticed that myself.
what do you think is that? Like, did you have like any like
I
bad like
love being myself.
mm,
There's a problem.
mm,
There's a good point, but for a leader, when you need to go talk to other people, give your time and spend time with them, ask them question and talk, be a friend to them.
mm,
But my nature is I love being myself. Sometimes that's why I don't go outside that. You know,
yeah,
I mean I love being myself and quiet, be myself with my
be
thought.
yourself. Yeah. Because I can relate to that because my story will be a little different. Like, I don't have a lot of friends either. Like, I'm not good at making friend either, and I grew up in a maybe I'm not, yeah, not just that friendly,
Mm-hmm.
and like usually our family we rarely, like, ever since I grow up we rarely have like a guest in the house,
Mm.
very rare. I think that's probably one of the reason, like, it's hard for me to go out in public because, like, and I always dream like uh, that one day maybe I will have a guest in my house. Because
Mm-hmm.
when I see like my friend, like when they have a guest in their house, it feels different, like
Mm-hmm.
just part of it I think is because of my like childhood
Mm-hmm.
growing up. So yeah, but maybe in your case it's different. Maybe it could
Yeah,
be your
my
personality.
right.
Because
That
I'm pretty sure your parent will have a lot of guests, right?
yeah, they have gas and sometimes they have
Especially,
song practice
yeah, yeah.
at my house and not often, quite often, but
You
sometimes
do
they
have
do.
like
Yeah, I
guests.
do
Okay.
have gas. And I in my childhood, I actually have a close friend,
Mm,
and people like the other kids like to be with me,
mm,
around me, you know. And but I don't notice that myself.
mm,
My mom have to tell me that the this kid and that kid wanna be. So I didn't notice people around me, but I have a close friend like two or three, and that's it for me. I'm done. You know, spending time, whatever I do with them. That's it. If I have one or two, then done.
mm. So
So
your weakness is
yeah.
make it friend. What is your strength?
Strange.
You want me to like point out
Yeah,
something?
right.
I think when it comes to leadership, you're pretty wise, and then another thing is that like you see things different.
Hmm.
Like you will approach things with a different perspective.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's your that's your. When you preach is like very unique. Like your perspective. Yeah, I think that's very unique. I think that's one of
Wow.
your
Thank you.
your strength. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But there could be other things behind the curtain.
Yeah.
I did not notice.
Mm, but
Like
thank you.
like
That's so generous.
but yeah.
Yeah. That's so
Uh,
generous, and thank you for your.
yeah, but I want to hear from you. Like, what do you think?
I when I have a desire, let's say a
Mm,
desire,
mm,
I have I have this gut. I must have what I want.
mm.
I must get what I want. Things like
Ah,
that. So when you have a dream,
so you will
y-
pursue that
yeah, I
until
will
you get
pursue
it.
that until I get it. Yeah.
Mm.
So that's kind of, and there are a lot of failure in my life, and I mean, I didn't get always what I want.
Okay. Does
But
that?
but
I was about to ask you. Does that principle work in a relationship?
huh?
Does that principle work in relationship? Like, say.
Yeah, if I want to. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So so
Because
this is the way I
it
think.
doesn't work for me, Okay.
I mean, it worked for me because the one that doesn't work, I
Mm.
just thought myself I don't have that kind of enough desire.
I don't- That's a
So
good way to
that's
look at it. Yeah.
yeah, that's how I think. Like a you know, uh, yeah, that story in the kids lesson. The fox,
Mm.
the grapes. He wanna eat that grapes and it's look very delicious, but he try and but after all he gave up, and the way he gave up, he just think in his mind that this grape is not delicious, it's
Mm.
not good. So that, I mean, I think different, like you said earlier. I mean, it's not a geniusly different. I didn't mean that,
So
but
that's your.
yeah, I didn't mean that because the way I think is genius and is special is a good. I didn't say that
Mm.
because when I said I have this one desire to fulfill, and then I find a way to fulfill it.
That's good.
So
So that's
when I said fulfill, I find a way to fulfill.
to
First
make
of
it
all,
happen.
yeah, I
Yeah.
made it happen by trusting God.
Mm.
I seek God. When I have a dream and when I pursue something that must be done, I nagging God,
Mm.
until I get it. I mean, I seek the Lord first, and then I was thinking on that, with what I have, how could I get there? Like the Bible said, there is always a way out.
Mm.
So there is Jesus, and Jesus can give you, wisdom and a way to get there.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So let's go back to the ministry a bit. What do you think? Some of the challenge leading youth, especially in the United States.
Challenge.
Yeah. What are some of the challenge?
The
Being a youth leader,
mm,
like from where you grew up and being in the U.S., leading in the U.S. It could be two different. I think two different challenge. But let's
yeah,
focus on the United States. Like
the
what?
United States, it would be, I would say first of all is a culture,
Mm,
and then the language
language barrier. Yeah.
barrier. So these two are big problem. The rest, like emotion thing, like problem, things like that, everywhere we have problem, it's just different.
Mm,
But the way we feel toward our problem is the same feeling. It's no matter in Myanmar or in United States, it's the same reaction we have toward the problem. But when we solve and try to find a solution for that problem or that feeling, you have to communicate with them
mm,
in English, and a better way is English. They might understand Burmese, but not very good
yeah.
at it. So language is the thing, and then not understanding the culture is very
That's the challenge.
yeah, that's the challenge.
So like those who grew up in Burma or in Myanmar, do you think are we more like mentally? I'm not trying to like brag or anything. So are we like more mentally stronger than those who grew up in the U.S.? Because the
um
way we grew up is different. We grew up like more like in the third world country, and
yeah, yeah, so, many other people will have another opinion, but
mm,
in my opinion, we don't have option,
mm,
back in Myanmar. So this is our environment.
mm,
This is how we grow. Anywhere you look at it, and everybody have this struggle, this
yeah,
problem. So is doesn't mean you are stronger.
mm,
It's just the way it is. The environment itself is how it is.
okay,
So, but in United States is a different setting environment,
mm,
you know, and that different setting environment is the way it is right here. Like people are
yeah,
depressed,
yeah,
things like that, having uh, emotional things like that,
mm,
Sometimes we see that it's not soft or it's tough thing, but it's just different.
yeah.
So in Burma, sometimes
There's
they
no
they, they, they have their
their own
yeah,
problem.
their
Yeah,
own problem, and it doesn't uh, label them they are stronger or things like that. Right here we not. it's not soft and tough
So
thing, but it's just a different.
okay, so it's just different. So
Mhm.
what about the way we see things, the way we handle problems? Like, it's just the same, or is it a little different?
In Myanmar.
Yeah, compare that here to Myanmar, from
Here
Myanmar,
to Myanmar, like
from Myanmar.
yeah,
Because like let's say for instance, like we grew up in the state, we have food,
mm-hmm.
right? Drinks, like we don't worry about that, shelter. But in Myanmar it's different. But let's say, um, but here is the struggle. Is, of course, it's different. And like when we encounter a problem, is it the way we see things different, or it's just the same?
I think we see things different.
Mm.
But here for example, like our parents, our
Mm.
mother in Myanmar, they were, the way they give birth, they they could give birth,
Yeah,
and
probably.
probably in the field,
Uh,
things like that, where they were working, and they don't feel. I mean, there might be pain, but they don't like,
yeah.
you know. So the pain is different, right here. But in United States, if like a mother who is a pregnant mother give birth, give a child,
Mm.
in the field, things like it would be seen differently,
Yeah.
because there are many other options that you could
Mm.
call, emergency 911, and
Yeah.
or you could go to a hospital, or everywhere is, you have option and you have a better life right here.
Mm.
That's why if someone give birth in a not in a hospital or some other place, they will look different. Not in the car, but in our back in our country, our parents and our grandparents, they will struggle, but is they see it, normal, because they don't have other option.
Mm. Yeah.
So this is their life.
Yeah. So
That's how they live. So, and one other thing is that Sazolian always joking about, we have more faith in Myanmar, people in United States doesn't have faith, because we have faith not because we are, because faith is essential in
yeah.
Myanmar, he once said that he was traveling with a train, and the train broke in the middle of the railway, before they reached to the destiny,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And yeah,
Destination.
destination. So he fall asleep, or the train was fixed, and when he wake up again, he see the same tree when he so the train, even though that you have a ticket and you have a destination, and you have this all kind of thing you need, but you couldn't get there,
Mm.
because the train and the tool that we have is not, uh, is not quite good.
Yeah.
So you need faith in everything you do. So it's essential. Right here we have a lot of option. If you don't want to travel with a train, you can drive yourself, or you can buy a airplane ticket, things
Yeah.
like that. So right here we have a lot of option. Over there we didn't have option. So the way we see is, we don't have option over there in Myanmar. So the way we live, we have no other, idea, better idea.
Mm.
So we are satisfied with that. Right here we have option, and if we couldn't do this way, and you can choose another way to make it happen.
Let's say if somebody who just started in a ministry,
Mm-hmm.
what advice would you give them?
What advice?
Like somebody, a young person, just freshly start in the ministry.
I believe everyone who step into the ministry, they have a strong feeling that they have a call from God.
Mm.
So I believe they already have that, and then I also believe that they already have like a strong relationship with God.
Mm.
So I wouldn't advise those part, because I believe they already have, since they step into the ministry. So, but I will encourage them to have a good environment,
Ah,
a
okay.
good partner,
Mm.
things like that. Like, could be a mentor, or
Mm.
accountability, something like that. But they need a environment.
Mm.
If you stand alone in ministry,
You won't survive
yeah,
for
you
long.
won't survive for long. So yeah, the danger is big, and you need a team.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think that's urgent and important because Jesus doesn't send his disciple alone.
yeah,
He sent them in pair. So,
yes.
uh, is there anything that I missed that you wanna talk about?
I want to go back. Explain it one more time. No, I'm kidding.
Let's do a fun time, okay?
Mhm.
Let's do a fun time. So I stole this idea from Craig Rossell. So,
Mhm.
so I will read the question and try to answer it as fast as you can.
Okay.
Okay, so you can think about it. I mean, it doesn't have to be as fast as you can. So, if you were to give a tech talk, what would it be? Like, what topic would it be?
It would be how to live a successful life in Jesus.
Okay, okay, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, if you were to get a tattoo, what would you get?
Oh, I never think to get a tattoo, but
Then what would it be? Like, just imagine
I think it's an eagle.
eagle. Okay,
Yeah.
where would you want it?
I don't know where should I put it. You tell me.
Maybe on the chest, right?
Yeah.
Okay, who is your go-to preacher?
That would be Joseph Prince.
Okay, okay. I was thinking about that too. Okay, so what is your favorite character in the Bible?
Character in the Bible is David.
David.
Mm-hmm.
What is it that get you frustrated the most?
When expectation is not met.
Okay, okay. So describe yourself in one word.
Cool.
Okay, okay, okay.
Not hot,
Okay,
It's
so
cool.
what is one advice that you would like to give to a single person, like who doesn't marry yet,
Oh,
like me?
I would say, decide to get married.
Okay,
Make a decision
okay,
to
okay.
get
I like
married.
that one. I like that
Yeah.
one. That one.
Sometimes people think
It's hard
Yeah,
to-
I'm serious.
Yeah, yeah,
People
yeah.
sometimes think that
Cause
they
'cause
thought it's just come with the
simple,
flow.
simple
Yeah,
decision, but it's not.
Yeah.
Like me, I started to think about it a lot. Like hard to make a decision. Once you get older, I
Right.
think that uh,
Yeah, you have a lot of
it affect you because you tend to think of different areas in your life. So
Yeah.
that's a good one. Just make a decision.
That's how I think.
Mm.
I didn't have a very
So
everything.
you don't have to prepare. You don't have to get like you don't have to prepare everything to get married.
Just prepare your mind.
Just
That's it.
prepare your mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't have that material things get ready, but if your mind is ready, if you are thinking that I must get married before that or something like that,
Yes. Okay. Let's say my mind is ready, but
if your mind is ready, it has to be ready. It has everything gotta come after your your mind.
Okay.
So that's how the way I see it,
Okay.
because your mind is always come first.
Okay. So that makes sense. Okay. A bonus question. Okay. What do you think people should come to United Youth Camp?
United Youth Camp, because it's a life changing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you committed and if you really have a hunger, a hungry heart for the word of God, then you must come here.
Okay. So when is United Youth this year? 2022.
August, first week, August 3 to 6. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So yeah. So for those who are listening, this is the chance for you, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay.
Right.
So this is a good conversation, but there's still a lot of things that I wanted to get but maybe in next episode. So
Right.
how can people get in touch with you? Like how can they reach out to you?
I have Facebook, and then I have Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
and I have Twitter too.
Okay. Okay. So you also have a podcast too. So like
Yeah,
you just
my
introduce us.
podcast
Yeah.
is JS Guideline.
J as a Joseph.
JS, Joseph
Uh-huh.
Sian.
So, okay.
Yeah.
So J
S
S. Okay.
Guideline.
Okay. J S guideline.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's good to have this conversation with you. Cannot wait to have another conversation again. So yeah, God bless you all.
Yeah.
And until next time.